there's lots of secrets in the jewellery industry that I think we all need to work to try and expose a bit more. I've always knew I was going to be an artist of some sort, because when I started at primary school, one of my teachers told me that. So that was taken away from me because I was just told that was what I was going to do. So that made that easy. And then I went to a careers fair when I was 16, and in Birmingham, and the School of Jewellery were there. And I didn't know that you could do that as a career, but something just clicked at that point, and I just thought, right, okay, I'm going to do that. So that's how I got into it. I used to really like, not necessarily individual jewellers, but Asian jewellery and Indian jewellery. That was a big influence. But also jewellery on the catwalk. So Sean Lean, I did quite a lot of my degree work was looking at his jewellery and his work with Alexander McQueen. So yeah, everything starts with a drawing, or usually everything starts with a drawing. I don't worry too much about how I'm going to make something. I'll draw it, and then I'll work out how I'm going to make it afterwards. Sometimes that involves learning a new skill, but that's okay. Wiggly, wavy edges, things looking very kind of organic and a bit bashed, but also then combining that with really highly polished insides of rings or backs of pendants, things that the parts that touch your skin being really smooth and shiny, and then the outside that you look at being textured and organic looking. What might start out as a kind of dirty grey blob into something beautiful and shiny and sparkly. Every project comes with different challenges. Because I work on commission, everything that I do is different. So there might be things like having to add multiple stone settings, or melting down gold and then it just keeps cracking and cracking when you roll it out, or having to join two different ones together. I think I'm quite a good lateral thinker, and I'm quite good at sort of getting around problems. But yeah, everything seems to come with different problems, different challenges.
Congratulations on your recent achievement of winning the 2023 HALO, which is Hallmarking Awareness and Learning Online Award. Can you share with us the emotions and significance behind this win?
A surprise to start with, because I didn't expect to get anything from it. I thought, well, I may as well enter, and I did. And then, yeah, surprise when I got the email to say that I'd won it. But yeah, I think I'm really proud because usually competitions like that are won by big companies. So, you know, and I'm just me. So I think it's really good that they've chosen to represent a one-person business, and hopefully that's going to inspire other people to be able to feel that they can have a go at it as well.
What motivated you to create an eco studio for making your jewellery?
Right, well, being thrown out of my other studio to start with. But
That doesn't help.
That doesn't help. So yeah, needs must. But yeah, that climate emergency thing that I've been banging on about for ages and ages and ages, it's just everything that I do is got to be done with the minimal impact. So if I'm going to build something, it's going to be the most insulated it can be, and it's going to use the least amount of power and energy to run that it possibly can. So yeah, because otherwise it would, you know, it wouldn't feel right to me that I've made something that could be better.
What are some specific steps you take to ensure your jewellery is eco-friendly and sustainable?
Okay, so you've just got to look around you. So I am trying to tackle the big stuff. Anyone can say, yes, I'm using recycled materials. I've put LED light bulbs in, but it's energy, food and transport are the three big things that applies to anybody really. It's not just to do with jewellery. So all my energy in here comes from solar panels, which charge a battery. So when it's raining, I've still got power, or it's dark, I've still got power. I'm vegan. Transport, I work from home, so I don't have any commute now. So yeah, I mean that's the main thing. I mean obviously yeah, I use lots of recycled materials. Most of my work is made from my customers' old jewellery that I'm melting down and remodelling, making into new. So I actually buy very little new material. if I have to buy any new material in, then it's always recycled. Or any stones that I have to buy. I think every jeweller's got a bit of a thing about buying gemstones, and you can't help it. We just keep buying them, and you end up with more and more and more that you don't use. But yeah, any gemstones that I buy, I've only got a couple of suppliers that I'll buy from that I know that I can get full traceability. So I send a lot of people away that phone me up and say, would you like to buy diamonds from me? I've also got plans for, at some point, rainwater harvesting on the roof, because I'm on a tank system for my water at the moment. And something else I want to look at is what happens to my pickle and the chemicals, all that kind of stuff that you use. And obviously, it's just me, so we're talking about, teaspoons worth of stuff that's left over at the end. But I've been looking at like reed bed systems so that I can empty things into that and it filters it. It's still a work in progress, but that's kind of the next little job. And my compost toilet, which will be in the corner of the room, possibly tomorrow, because the cubicle bit is coming tomorrow.
But if you can figure out if you learn more about the pickle thing, it's something that then you can share to everyone to reuse. That's the main idea, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose not everyone's going to have facilities to have a pond outside their workshop, but
Is that No, Paul, you can't fit a pond.
but that's what I've been looking at, that there are actually plants that like copper, because that's the problem, is that there's copper in it.
Okay.
And at the moment I just let it evaporate. So I just leave it when it gets to the point where it's not usable anymore. I put it in a jar and leave it somewhere where no one's going to get to it, and let it evaporate. And it is literally like a teaspoon worth that you might throw away at the end. So so if that then goes into a pond, there won't be any fish in it. There'll be plants in it though that like the copper. And then as that overflows, then hopefully that's then filtered it all out. I've been banging on about all this for over 20 years to people that I know. They're probably really fed up of hearing me talking about environmental stuff. Social media, my website, my B Corp certification, anywhere really that I can kind of get that environmental message in and across to people. Yeah, it's a luxury item, but people are going to keep buying it. So I think rather than the actual jewellery, people like me that choose to do so have got a chance to kind of educate through social media and just the wider picture of your business. The actual product is probably not quite so important. But yeah, I think, and trying to educate people on traceability. There's lots of secrets in the jewellery industry that I think we all need to work to try and expose a bit more.
Have you encountered any challenges in maintaining an eco studio, and how have you addressed them?
Not having any sun sometimes, but I'm running on batteries. So occasionally in the winter, when it's been dull for a few days or it's been raining for a few days, I've had to plug into grid electricity and charge my battery up that way. So yeah, making sure that all the equipment that I use isn't going to overload the battery. So I've had to go around and work out the power that everything uses, or I did before I came in here. There's one or two things you can't have running at the same time, like having the Dado and the Oxycon on at the same time would be too much for the battery. But that I'm never going to do that, no. So that's fine. Access to water, I've had to come up with a kind of ingenious sort of camper van type system of tanks, of a clean tank and a dirty tank. Not having heating at the flick of a switch. Obviously, I've got to come and load the fire when it's cold and when it's freezing cold.
That's fun, though, isn't it?
It is fun, yeah. But everything, it's just, and it's minor things. It's minor things. Everything in the winter takes, a few minutes longer to get ready to start for the day. But there's not really been any major challenges. Yeah, basically, B Corps are businesses that are, or companies that are using business as a force for good. So you have to go through a big assessment process, and they ask you all sorts of questions. It's not just environmental, it's all about kind of ethical and moral, about the whole way you run your business. And then they say most businesses score about 50. I can't remember what I got now. I think I was on like 97 or something in the end. So you get a really high score. It was over 100 to start with, and then then you have to provide evidence for everything, which is where as a sole trader, single person business, I haven't necessarily got evidence of everything, but I will do for next time. So they put your score down a bit because you haven't got evidence. But yeah, essentially it's an accreditation of your whole business. And it's you have to provide that evidence. It's not just a tick box exercise. No. Somebody has actually kind of gone through and sort of checked with you and sort of verified everything that's there. So yeah, it's quite a rigorous verification process.
Must have been quite satisfying to get it then.
Yeah, I mean, I started off there's a thing called an impact assessment, and also it all came about from the group Fair Luxury. Who are like a group of jewellery change makers, and they run this challenge every year where you make a pledge for something that you're going to do to improve your business sustainably or environmentally. And a few people said they were going to try and become a B Corp, and that was the first I heard about it. And I thought, all right, let's just have a go. So I started filling in the impact assessment. And found I was actually doing a lot of the things already that it asked. So I just kind of kept going until I got to the end of there and thought, oh, all right then. Well, I've filled everything in. I've got 100 and whatever it was on the score. So then just kind of took it from there and took it into the full accreditation.
Brilliant. Well done.
Thank you. So it runs on electricity. Which being as this whole place is run on solar power and a battery is good. What it has done, it's really useful for things like tacking stone settings together. That runs on electric. I've still got a gas torch, so it means that, yeah, if I can tack a few stone settings onto a piece and solder it in one go rather than having to solder it in 5 or 6 goes, saving a little bit of gas. Yeah, it's also enabled me to repair pieces that might have been, people may have just thrown away. They'd have been chucked in the bottom of a drawer and then they'd bought a new version. But I've been able to repair things and people have gone away very happy that they can wear their jewellery again. I think it's made realising my drawings easier. I never think about how I'm going to make something. When I draw something and I come up with a design, how I'm going to make it is just not there in my head. I worry about that bit afterwards. And sometimes it still doesn't, I still have to make things a little bit differently to how I thought would make. But having the Dado has kind of made it so that I can attach components together before I solder them and not have to worry about, is this bit going to drop off or is this bit going to drop off? So yeah, that's probably the main thing. Yeah, advice-wise is just to try it, have a go, see how it would fit in. I definitely recommend having one if you can afford it. It's not a cheap piece of kit for a big jewellery workshop. Then it is, and compared to how laser welders were when they first came onto the market, then it is a cheap piece of kit, but it's still a few £1,000s to spend on it. I think it'd be quite good to have like jewellery hubs, so that if people don't necessarily need to use it all the time, they can kind of go somewhere else to use one.
It's something in our travelling, which actually you know about because we did the first one with you. So the travelling workshop idea is to hopefully not just to show the tutors as well as the students that are entering, coming there, what they can do. So yeah, hopefully by doing this travelling workshop, it inspires tutors to want to get one, to then spread what they can do.
Yeah, because there's lots of people making jewellery as a hobby.
Yeah.
And they're not going to spend £3,000 on a laser welder. But if there's one where they're teaching and they can go and use that once a week, or whatever, then yeah, that'd be a really good thing. I haven't bought any rose gold solder for ages, or platinum solder. Although platinum, you tend to use a little slither of platinum rather than using solder. So yeah, that is similar in that respect. I mean, you can use you can laser on like 2 millimeters worth of, you can use it right down to the very end of what you're using.
Yeah, if I can just add, when I size a ring and it needs to go down, I'll take the piece out, I'll mill it out, I'll tin snip it and then put it back in.
Yeah.
So I'm using the material that goes back in.
Oh yeah, to make it.
Yeah, when I size, I create that V and then
yeah.
I put the piece back in.
Put the piece back in again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that. That's a good idea. Yeah.
works well.
Yeah, I do where you make the V and then and then fill it back in. But yes, that's a good idea because then you can laser down the sides, can't you?
Gold matches.
Yeah,
Customers love that.
yeah. Well, that's a good idea. I'll do that too.
Do you have any questions, Paul, since you're here?
Not really. I'm just envious. Yes, it's a fantastic setup. It's
Thank
kind of
you.
the dream setup. I feel like I'm in another world right now because it's kind of how I would like to be. To have this setup.
It is a bit like another world. It's like, escape
It's
from
tranquil, isn't it?
escape from anything else that might be going on in the world. And you're the same. You sit at your bench, especially if you're stone setting or something.
I'm happy.
Yeah, you can't. It doesn't matter whatever else is going on in your life. It's like when you're in this bit here,
Absolutely.
it's all gone.
Yeah. That's why you can work in any space
Yeah,
because it's about losing yourself. You're in a job.
Yeah.
You're figuring it out.
Yeah.
You've got the challenges going on, and you can't wait to get to see what that's going to look like
yeah.
from your imagination.
Most of the time.
Sometimes
Sometimes it's complete
not
opposite.
getting there. Yeah, I've had that.
Yeah, so yeah, all my social media is at Anna Fine Jewellery UK. Facebook and Instagram is the same.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
that's all right.